I am going to take it out there and take my ear out because that was the end of the song and it's 4 seconds off. And that's because it's been a very interesting morning. Welcome, everyone. Let me take this caption off. I can see everyone's comments. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Let me know where you're all watching from today. Put them in the comments. We got a few already. Let's see. Abdul Ahat Lochat says, "How are you?" I'm fine, and he's writing from LinkedIn. So cool. We're getting viewers in LinkedIn, and I don't recognize the flag, so you have to tell me what where you are. Bound to Nature is snapping along with me, and Mark was clapping, but I don't know if Mark was dancing. And they're both on YouTube. And go away. And then I come down here. GD Creations says hello from India. GD Creations is a regular on the show. Carl says hi from hot New Jersey. Hey, well, it's supposed to be 103 here in Texas today, and I think that's like 50 in Celsius. No, maybe not 50. I'm an American. I can't convert to Celsius, so 38, 40. It's hot. Not as hot as India, can be, but Mark says, greetings from Wyoming, where it's indubitably cooler. How hot is it in Wyoming today, Mark? Let us know. Jeremy Klusterman is watching from the DC metro area. Welcome to today's show. 670 Street, I can't speak. 876 Street says he's watching from Jamaica. Ooh, hopefully that hurricane that just went through did not affect you guys too much. Let me know how that went and what the temperature is in Jamaica today, or where you are. And then we got Brian is in Ysplanty, Michigan. Cost for the StreamTek. I believe the cost for the StreamTek is $150. They announced it in the YOLO group, and I am actually switching today's show with the StreamTek. Kinda. There's not a whole lot in the show. And because today is a call-in show, you can't pre-build the scene with the caller till the caller calls in, so I can't put that on a button. So it's just really weird. But we're going to give it a shot. Robert Linkrum is in the Belmont Shore, California. Mark says it's 102. Oof, that is, yeah, just as hot. Kenyan Tech is in Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome back. Please go over how you bring in that intro music video with audio on YoloBox in background. Actually, it's quite simple on the YoloBox. I have a countdown timer, and the countdown timer lets you attach music. Now, depending on whether you have a Pro or an Ultra, changes things. If you have a Pro, turning on the title with the attached music turns off your internal microphone. So everything is muted, just the pre-show countdown with the timer, and the music plays, which I think is awesome. It's super convenient. And when it ends, I used to have it, actually on my Pro, I do have it timed out. I have it set to like 13 minutes and 53 seconds or some odd number like that, so that the song ends and then it cuts off. And the timer cuts off and it's perfect. That was great. On the Ultra, so far, I can add the music, but it doesn't mute the internal microphone. So you have to kind of do that yourself, which is just an added task. I liked it the other way. And also on the Ultra, I can key myself over a background, but I can't do that in the Ultra. I mean, on the Pro, I can, when you create a key, I can put that key over top of anything. I put it over video, I can put it over still, I can just keep moving it around. In the Ultra, when you create a key, when you put that over something else, it carries the background with it, which in some cases, that's what you want to do. In other cases, that's not what you want to do. And I was used to being able to like move myself and just put myself over 3 different backgrounds on the Pro, and on the Ultra, nope, that's the way it is. So, yeah, the music in the YoloBox is easy. With you just attach it to the countdown timer. Do 876 Street says, I'm on the north side of the island, so I wasn't affected too badly. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Thank you. Carl Venerable in a large SE. I don't know what that means. And Kenyon Tech says, I have a Mini. Yeah, it works the same with the Mini. Mini Pro work pretty much exactly the same. Although I do know some Pro updates came out just recently. I haven't installed them yet, so I am not fully up to date. I'm just like, I'm back a month or two. But thank you all for coming to today's show. I appreciate everyone being here. As always, I love to say, welcome everyone. This is a worldwide show, and I talk about streaming tech, hence the name StreamTech. And if you have a question about anything streaming related, you can throw it into the comments at any time. I have a theme for the show, but at the same time, it's not anchored. The show's not anchored to that, and we're free to discuss whatever we want to discuss. I love to know where everyone is watching from today, even if I spell it with a capital O. Thank you all for watching. Also, who would like to join me for a face-to-face discussion on this live show? We're going to talk about the YoloBox Ultra has added mix minus, which is an audio term, and it means something very specific. And we'll talk about that, and we're going to try and use it today. I will say, just before I began my pre-show, the show that I've created on the YoloBox Ultra quit out. And then I came back into it, and I had to rebuild my inputs. The graphics stayed, but the inputs did not. So if it quits out again, don't worry. I have the Ultra going into a Director Mini, which then goes into Restream. So I've got 3 different switchers going on at the same time. So if at any point it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't know which switcher I'm on at that particular moment. It's a little confounding, but in order to show you the Ultra, I have to switch it with another switcher. And then to do all these comments in the different destinations, I'm using Restream. And we are live in Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Twitter has decided that if you want to stream on Twitter, you have to pay. And so I'm not streaming on Twitter because I don't want to pay. It's like, you want me to create content for you so that you can have people stay on your platform. I don't pay you to do that. That's not what I do. So that basically ended my involvement with Twitter. I'll still tweet, but I'm not going to post. Got a couple more comments. Carl Venerable, in a large church, where would you suggest placing OBSBot PTZs? The OBSBot PTZs, it depends. They've got a couple different ones because some have optical zoom. I think it's a 3x. Others don't. So depending upon whether you have OBSBot PTZs with zooms or without, depends on how close you have to place the cameras. The nice thing is they're not very big, so they're kind of unobtrusive. So I wouldn't put them in the center per se, because that would, what would work really good there is something that last week's show I did it on the near stream, and that's this camera with a 10x optical zoom for $399 on Amazon. You can go look at that show. There'll be a link in the description. So the near streams give you the ability to turn on NDI and use that in your app of choice, and then 10x optical zoom. And the optical zoom can be controlled over NDI. It does respond to commands, as opposed to a Panasonic camcorder that has an optical zoom and does NDI, but doesn't respond to an NDI command to zoom in. Go figure. Oh, and it'll digitally zoom after that. So they claim 40x, but I really wouldn't go past 20. But still, 20, you can be in the back of the church and zoom in, or kind of off to the side a little bit and get a straight enough shot. Whereas if you have the OBSBot, you need to be like really close. You need to be like 10 feet away to get a decent shot. And that way, that kind of limits your placement. Can the Elgato Stream Deck work with the YoloBox Ultra? Nope. And I've mentioned this many times that, and it's not a YOLO problem at all. That's the reason that YOLO came out with the YOLO deck is because Elgato, the company that makes the Stream Deck, doesn't make an Android driver. So when you plug an Elgato into an Android tablet, which is what the YoloBox and the Director Mini are, they don't know what to do with it. They're like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Sorry, So YOLO can't talk to the Stream Deck because there's nothing in between the YOLO, which is an app running on an Android tablet, and the Elgato, which is plugged into the Android tablet. There needs to be software on the Android tablet that tells the tablet what that is and what to do with it, and provide the API for other software to hook into it. The app is available on Windows and Mac, and I think probably Linux as well. And you can run an iOS version of the app, but that doesn't necessarily allow you to plug in the hardware into your iOS device. It's basically mimicking the control surface on an iOS device. So until Elgato gets around to making an Android driver that you would basically have to sideload, or an app that part of loading the Elgato, the Run Elgato app, or the Run Stream Deck app on Windows, or sorry, on the Google Play Store, then you could download the app, install the app, and then that app would install the drivers that would provide the glue between the two pieces. Can OBS Studio work with the YoloBox Ultra to bring up different scenes, like running ads, for example? Sure, because you can bring the output of OBS into any of the HDMI inputs. You know, you could use it then, or you could use it as an overlay, you know, to bring up corner bugs or something like that, you know, using green screen, blue screen, whatever. How to buy YoloDeck? I believe it's going to be available on Amazon and, you know, outlets like that worldwide. I don't know. They announced it. They posted the price. Now it's basically just delivery. I have an early version that I helped. I was on the beta team because had a long-standing working relationship with YOLO, and as such, mine doesn't even have the label on the back. So, but I like it. It's been very reliable for me. I like the size, the shape. Actually, I just finished editing a video for the YOLO deck, that the show that I did on the YOLO deck, so it's all condensed and everything. That will actually be out Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning, Central Time, US. So in another 24 hours to another 22 hours, that will actually be live on the StreamTech channel. So you can go check out I talk about programming it, the different capabilities, buttons I would not use. I talk about the physical structure, the physical connectivity and everything. And I also talk about, like, it comes with a little plastic cradle for angling and things like that. So I show all of that off, and I show you how to program it and reprogram it and things like that. It does what it needs to do, and it does. I always say, I just want gear to do what it says it's going to do. If you say you're going to do, say, 30 frames a second, but you do frame doubling and you do that, and you don't do that, or you crash, I don't like it. If you say, I'm going to provide an external control surface with buttons that you can change, and these buttons will cause something else to work, and you do it, okay, we're good. I love it. Any thoughts on Ultra audio mixer adjustment? Would really like to see the plus minus adjustment for the Pro migrated to the Ultra. Yeah, there's a lot of idiosyncrasies between the different units. You know, like how the Ultra works is not how the Pro works, and how the Pro works is not how the Ultra works. Like, you know, even in, like I said, the green screen. I like being able to key myself over the backgrounds and then be able to change the backgrounds, because me green screened is just a cutout on the Pro, and I can put that over video, I can put that over whatever I want. On the Ultra, it does the cutout, it does the background replacement, and then it carries the background when you try to put it over top of other things, which can be a problem. So they work differently. And hopefully, as the Ultra starts to really become finished, they can even the user interface out across the line. Carl says, thanks. I'm sorry I can't help you more. I don't know how big your church is and how far everything's are, but I do hope that that provided some guidance for you. The Osbots are great for front of church. Yeah, they kind of have to be in the front of church. Although the nice thing is you can have a shot of the pulpit, and then when he's done at the pulpit, you can spin that baby around and look at the audience. Yay, for singing and stuff. Alonzo is in Nearsea. I guess that means you're in Nearsea. 806, understood, thanks. Hey, I wonder if anybody is on Twitch. I actually had a comment early on from LinkedIn, and I'm supposedly streaming to Twitch. If anybody happens to have a Twitch account, and jump over to Twitch and hunt StreamTech down and throw a comment in there. I'd be curious to see a Twitch comment come up, because I get zero traction on Twitch, so I never see one come up. I found using wireless HDMI transmitter with the tail airs works better versus wireless NDI. That's what Highland devices. Yes, I did a video, the 7 rules for mobile multicam success. The first half of the video is about wireless. And I talk about how it really depends upon your Wi-Fi. You know, when you start trying to push NDI, you really need to have a dedicated network and a very high bandwidth network. You know, a dedicated gaming router is key. Give me a second, I'll go get this. And in the video, I talk about this, and I'm just gonna hold it against me for scale. This is a massive Republic of Gamers. That's backwards for you. Asus ROG. It has 2.5 gig LAN, 2.5 gig WAN. I think it's got Wi-Fi 6, so it's got the 6 gigahertz in here. It's a beast. But the key thing is not so much that it's just really big and it's got cooling. It doesn't have a fan, but it's designed to pass through gigabytes of data. If it's got 2.5 gigabit LAN, it's designed to move a lot of data very fast. And with gaming, it's designed for very low latency. So I'm not necessarily recommending this particular router. I'm just using this as an example. I haven't put this into NDI testing yet, but when I do, I'll make a video about it. But that's the router I got to replace my Google Wi-Fi pucks, which have been great for many years, but now when I start to push NDI, 2 or 3 streams of NDI through the Google Wi-Fi pucks, they're not ready for that. They're not made for that. So I needed something bigger and badder. And this is the device that I hunted down and I got to test bigger and badder. I got my YOLO deck from Amazon. Took 4 business days from China. That's pretty fast. Salute all panel and chat. Good to have you, Don. Good to have you. Researching how to stream a football game. Come across your videos. Amazing stuff. Thank you very much. Looking to stream 2 football matches at the same time. Camera need to be waterproof. Any solution? Camera needs to be waterproof. That's a very specific thing. That's going to be hard because not only do you need the camera to be waterproof, you need the connection to the camera to be waterproof, and that's very rare. I guess you got underwater football matches, because most of the time they don't need to be waterproof. And if you actually watch regular football, they have regular cameras, and when it's going to rain or inclement weather, they just put bags over them. They rain covers that are made for the cameras and operators and the cabling to keep them, you know, baseball too. It pour on a baseball field. Well, they don't pick up the cameras and take them in. The cameras sit out there next to the dugout and everything, and they get poured on. But because they have rain covers over them, you know, the electronics and everything are protected from the rain. Bird Dog does make IP6, 7 rated waterproof PTZ cameras. Those are waterproof. They can sit out in the rain. But even things like the Mevo, you can actually buy housings for the Mevo, not buy and or find on Thingiverse housings, plastic housings that are designed to keep the sun off of it, allow a little bit of airflow, but they also work in terms of straight down rain. But again, these things are not designed for IP65 or anything rated. If you went with a DSLR, like Olympus makes DSLRs that you can use in the rain, as long as all the covers are closed on the ports. But you're going to need video off of the camera, so you're going to need to open the port or open the cover to get to the HDMI, which makes it not waterproof. So, in your experience, which manufacturer of PTZ cameras is the most stable, consistent, and reliable? Panasonic, Sony, Canon, Data Video, PTZ Optics. Actually, all of those that you mentioned are good. Data Video tends to be a little proprietary, like they've got cameras that work within their own video protocol that's not NDI, that's not, this like, it'll work over Cat5, but it's not NDI. So Data Video has sort of very thought out, but closed solutions. Like this particular camera will work over Ethernet to this particular switcher, but not to anybody else's switcher that way. But they also have like regular video outputs too. PTZ Optics are good cameras. Canon makes good cameras. Sony makes good cameras. Panasonic makes good cameras. And those three may also make waterproof models of their PTZ cameras. But then you're going to be paying $1,000 to $5,000, possibly even upwards to $10,000 for a high-end PTZ camera from these manufacturers. PTZ Optics tends to be a little bit more affordable, but they don't make the same level of gear that these guys do. Sony has been making, the PTZ cameras, and Canon and Panasonic for years before I think PTZ Optics came onto the scene. Use Ubiquiti Alien router for NDI, and it works great. Alien, so Ubiquiti is a very networking is what they do. The Ubiquiti is about networking, and you can do NDI over Wi-Fi as long as you specifically designed your Wi-Fi for NDI. It's not like, oh, I put up a hotspot and it didn't work, so NDI doesn't work over Wi-Fi. That's sort of like saying, I threw some gravel in front of my house and now my car got a flat tire when I went down the road. You didn't make a road, you threw some gravel in front. You got to make a super highway for data to pass, for NDI. Brian James says, looking for suggestions on cellular bonding options. Live View and Bridge Digital seem rather expensive. Any suggestions? Live View is expensive because it's really good. It's one of those things you kind of get what you pay for. There are lower cost options. YOLO has a bonding option, so you can get the YoloBox Mini and do bonding through Ethernet, cellular, and Wi-Fi using a YoloBox Mini. So the box is affordable, but then you do have to pay for bonding. And people are always like, well, why do I have to pay for bonding? It's because you're not just paying for the service of bonding. Bonding is I'm taking my video and I'm chopping it up into 1,000 little packets, and I'm sending those packets like a poker dealer, and they're all going across the internet at different speeds, and they arrive at some other computer. Well, who put that computer there? Where's it sitting? What's powering it? What's it running? Who configured it? What's the bandwidth? Because you're not the only one streaming to it. What's the bandwidth to this thing? And what processing power does it have? Okay, so it's a big ass computer that somebody set up. It's a supercomputer somebody set up in multiple places around the world just waiting for your data. Well, you got to pay for that computer. You got to pay for the administration of the computer. You got to pay for the updates on the computer, the cooling, the power, and the updates to the software that actually take your packets, put them back in the proper order, and then send them to where you wanted them to go. So you got to pay for that. It's, anybody, if I've seen routers that talk about bonding, but then it's like, and it's free. I'm like, it's not free. The one exception is KiloView offers bonding for their devices, and KiloView does not offer a bonding server. KiloView doesn't offer the service. What they do is they give you the software to do the debonding, as I call it. But then you have to provide the computer, you have to do the updates, you have to provide the electricity, the cooling, the maintenance, and the internet connection to it. You provide everything that you would normally be paying somebody else for, and you do it. So your time and money, your time and putting that together is the money that you would pay for somebody else to do it. Haven't seen anybody chime in from Twitch yet. Let's see if anybody can do that. Patiently waiting for YOLO Live streaming cameras. A lot to look forward to. Yeah, there's a lot of cameras out there that can already stream. Mevo's already stream. Holyland has a streaming camera. So there's a lot of the cameras out there that can stream already. And I don't necessarily, like, the YoloBox is a great multi-camera live switching tool. Cramming that all into a camera seems kind of antithetical to me, but that's why I haven't actually ever streamed from a Mevo camera. Have you tried the YoloDeck with a USB-C hub off of the Ultra? Would like to have both SSD and YoloDeck off the USB-C, as USB-A is being used for audio input. Well, there's also an analog audio input too. You could bring, if you've got a hub, you can bring the audio in over USB-A. I haven't. The answer to your question is I have not tried it with a hub. I just plug it into one of the USB-A ports. So I can't answer that right now. What are all the sources you can use with the YoloBox Ultra to bond internet? I use Starlink and 4G modem. Any other option I can add? It's got a built-in cellular connection. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got, and then you can use multiple USB ports for data. So you can add, I think, 4 connections for data that the YoloBox Ultra will bond together and spread the data across. And just remember that bonding doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be faster. Bonding means that it's going to be more reliable. That's the whole point of bonding these things together. It's like if your girlfriend has hair down to her shoulder, putting it all together in a ponytail doesn't make it longer, but it makes it stronger. And so if one is not doing as good, you can move the data across other things. And when it comes to like streaming, I stream this at about 4 megabits a second. And so if I connect 4 different things together, okay, I got 20. I'm going to use 20. No, don't ever use all of your data. If you've got 20, the max I would ever say to stream is like 9. You always want to, leave half of that because it fluctuates. Each thing, fluctuates over time. It may be great, it may be bad, it may reset for a second and totally bottom out and everything. That happens constantly, except over like a landline wired cable or fiber connection. That tends to be very, very, 99.9%, they say. So always be at not more than half of what your total available bandwidth is. And then, if you have gigabit to the house, that doesn't mean make your stream 500 megabits. You still only need, 4. I don't like Bird Dog or PTZ optics. All OEM from China, no real innovation, inconvenient truth. Yeah, actually, technically, almost all electronics are made in China. So if you look at the bottom of a Canon, it's made in China. If you look at the bottom of a Panasonic, it's made in China. I mean, it's a big deal when Nikon actually closed their Japanese plant and started making cameras in China. And it's just cost effectiveness in terms of manufacturing in China, or, certain things used to be made in Taiwan, or certain things still are made in Taiwan. So we can, say, I don't want Chinese goods, but honestly, if you look at the back of anything that you do like, odds are, for many things, it's still probably made in China. Have you tried Ultra's calling in feature? Great segue. Great segue. See that? See that? I should go to, how do I do this? Let's go here. All right, so I'm switching that on the Ultra, and now, wait, I lost it. Where did I lose it? Oh, does it have a timer on it? Should not have a timer on it. Oh, I see what I did. I just need 2. 22. Yeah, this, there we go, wrong one. And then this one. There we go. So what we have here is, this is the Ultra. I hope I'm not keying it over twice. HDMI 2. No, I'm just coming in on HDMI 2. This is the Ultra going out through the ATEM, coming into the Director Mini, which then goes into StreamYard. So technically I'm using 4 switchers, 4 things. And this, oh, it's reversed now. This is the QR code to join me. And let me make sure I got the caller feature. There we go. Sorry, when it crashed, it allow participants to join was off. So this is, you know, you can join me. And sorry about that. I've got the ka-ding on here. Let me put that on silent for today's show. You should still be able to hear me. Yep. Because I am now producing on the Ultra. And let's go to the overhead. How do I do this? Do I go here? All right. So this is the show that I'm producing on. I've got invite guests. There's a QR code that you just saw. I have allowed participants to join. Nobody has called in yet. And I am using program. My audio is on. USB 2 audio is on with mix minus. Now, I'm going to turn on audio follows video. Then this is key for when you, I'm going to take that title off. This is key for when you do call-ins. You don't want the caller, all the different callers' audio to be active immediately. You want them to be active when you bring them on. So I'm going to turn that on. And then I'm going to see, okay, it looks like my audio is still on because I am in the shot. And then I will come back to the Ultra. There's the QR code. If you like typing things in directly, I think that is, I just look at it. Where did it go? Here it is. 6. I should move that up. Just gonna move that up. So, oh. Well, that's annoying. Let's take that off and then put that in front. There we go. So that is, these are how it's reversed now. Again, like I said, I'm going through 4 different video switchers to make this show. That QR code, and I will try it myself. See if I can come into today's show. Boom, 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 boom. Bitly. And if it doesn't work, I apologize. We'll work that out. Yes. And then let's go to my overhead. Wait, you were seeing this message? Your code is still a preview? Oh, I see. Okay. Thanks, Bitly. Thanks a lot. I create the QR code, then it says, well, you're not done. So let me try typing that in. Go to your browser on a desktop or new tab. And we're going to type in bit.ly/4F63QV capital R. Go. Oh, Ricardo's there. All right. Something. What is going on here?
Hello, sir.
QV. I got to type in QV. So QVR. Let's type that. And then, are you going? Well, I don't know how you got in because I can't get in. 4F63 QVR. 4F. Go. Well, Ricardo's here. Maybe, Ricardo, you can tell me how you got in.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. I have to get the right headphones. Give me a second.
Okay.
And then, let me get rid of that because that's not working. And then I'm going to create a split view. Here. Done. And then say done. And then bring that up like this. There we go. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't hear you yet, so let me go back to here. Audio follows video. Ricardo should be on.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, Ricardo. Hey, how you doing?
Awesome. I'm good. How are you? This is awesome.
You're looking good sporting the beard there, man. Oh, let's bring
Thank you,
this
sir.
up.
Hey, So let me tell you how I got in. I just took a screenshot and went to my photos, and then I clicked on the link, and it took me right there.
Well, let's see. It's weird because when I tried to parse the QR code, it told me it wasn't done, which is very interesting.
Well, I took a link. I took a link. I went into your code, the bit.ly
Yeah.
/46. I clicked on that.
Interesting. So, well, good to see you, man. Yeah.
You too.
We'll see if other people join us, and if not, I will take a moment and go over and finish the code or whatever it is that Bitly wants me to do. But yeah, where are you at? You look like you're in a studio.
I am in my office.
Well, it
Slash
looks
studio.
yeah, it looks like you're set up with some sound tiles there on the back there.
Yes, sir. I'm doing a little work, and I saw you went live. I said, let me jump in on this. This is pretty cool.
Well, I thank you for that. And like I says, we're just doing the switch now. Like I was saying to others that you are looking at me directly through the camera, but I'm showing the viewers on the stream, they're looking down at the screen, and the multi-view is something you can't pre-build and assign to a button until the person actually shows up in the list. So that is a bit of a challenge in terms of doing a live show and then making it convenient so that I can just sit here, oh, let me tap this and let me tap that, and let me tap this and let me tap that. You can't have that on a button until they come in, and then you have to build it. So it's almost like they need to have some sort of pre-built caller multi-view that makes it easy for the producer to have, this is the caller that I want in this multi-view. And then that way you could just tap
the button. You could just, yeah.
So
That would be convenient.
Yeah, that would be convenient. But now the cool thing is, as we found out that in the Pro and the earlier models, when they brought out the guest feature, the audio is delayed coming into the YoloBox to match the cameras, and when you monitor the audio, you hear yourself with a delay, which throws off like 90% of the people out there, me included.
Right.
Which is why when I start the show, I'm like, yep, I can hear my audio. Okay, I'm done listening to the audio. And what that does is it makes it less usable unless you can find a way to like not be bothered by hearing yourself with the delay. With the Ultra, what they've done is they've added this mix minus. So on my audio input coming in here, I've got audio follows video. So when you come up, when you're on the screen, it turns your audio on. But my audio coming in is on mix minus. So I don't hear myself.
That's awesome.
And for people who aren't familiar with the term, what I hear is the mix minus that thing. So that's what the mix minus is. I want to hear everything minus me. I don't want to hear me. Not at all.
Yeah, I was a radio engineer once, and yeah, mix minus is a very important thing to know.
Yes, mix minus, and it's a standard term. People are saying, "Well, I'm hearing echo, double back, fold back." All these different terms. I'm like, mix minus. You need mix minus, and most mixers don't have mix minus because they're not doing, like you said, broadcast. When you do broadcast, everybody in the broadcast wants to hear everybody else, but not themselves.
Right.
And things like, when Rode came out with the Rodecaster, what they did was like, oh, well, you can Bluetooth your phone in, or you can, USB your phone in and things like that. Mix minus became very important because the caller who's coming into your device does not want to hear an echo of themselves from the device, but they want to hear the mix. They want to hear the mix minus themselves. So thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me go back here and see if I can fix the Bitly and see if I can get other people. Supposedly this works, even though I can't seem to get it to work on my thing. I just get this weird thing. But I'm going to go over to the computer and I'm looking for a bit of video. I'm going to go over to the computer and see if I can finish the Bitly, whatever it's looking for me to finish and approve or whatever it is, so that the QR code works. So let me play a little promo video, and then I will go do that. So I'll be back in a minute. Hey, I wanted to thank you all for being here for original, genuine streaming information, testing, and reviews. My name is Anthony Barocas of StreamTech. Please subscribe to the channel so we can grow this audience for producing real content for you. Real world experiences and feedback where I tell you what doesn't work too. No AI is going to actually test and use these tools to find out what doesn't work. So the only way to combat all the crap AI generated videos that regurgitate the same press release information is to subscribe and share real, genuine, experienced streaming content like this. The main location for our live streaming content is StreamTechnology with a K on YouTube. Here you'll find all of our live shows, our conversations, and all of our fantastic tutorials and tech videos for you to watch anytime you want. I also have a StreamTechnology Facebook page you can subscribe to as well for more information and so you can discuss the shows and videos with other fans. If you're looking for specific assistance with a setup or integration, or for consulting, you can go to stream4.us, that's Stream for Us, and you can reach out to me directly right there. I provide live streaming services and consulting to anyone who needs it. I also write for Streaming Media Magazine, which you can find at streamingmedia.com. There you can click on Producer and see a wealth of content for streaming producers like you and me. They also have a free weekly email newsletter that brings useful information right to your email inbox. But right now, the best thing you can do to help me out is to subscribe and take the video that you like, that you find helpful, and share it on your social media so it might be seen by people who aren't connected to me. That would help me out so much. And you can actually do that while watching this video. Try it. Well, I think that worked out pretty well. And I did manage to get the QR code working. So let me put that back up on the screen right there. So, and if you, I'll get it right. If you just shoot that with your phone, I tested it, takes me right to the login, and that works from everyone. J-Film says hello from Atlantic City. Leo Blakely says, is there a time date that the YoloDeck will come to the Pro? I don't have a time or date that the YoloDeck will come to the Pro, but Frank, who is the manager of the YOLO boxes, has said that that is their intent. I just don't have a timeline on that. I'm not part of that team. I don't work with the engineering, so I don't know what the timeline is. Sorry, I can't help you with that. YOLO says soon, 2 to 3 months, I'd wager, says Mark. So again, thank you all for chiming in. If you look at these codes on the stream, you can aim your phone at that. And what that's going to do is that will, I'm going to test it with my phone again right here. Boo, 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 boo. There it goes. Oh, QRC preview HTML. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, it gave me a preview QR code. Oh my goodness. So no, thank you Bitly for being just a royal pain in the butt. Yeah, I know the QR code is not working. I'd have to go and get another QR code and put it in here. I'm already using all my USBs. And let me see. But this should be working, especially if I wrote it down correctly. Let me try it again. Apologize for the confusion. I had originally, today's show, if you saw the thumbnail, today's show is going to be all about the OBSBot talent. And just got this in, have not opened it, and OBSBot reached out and says, not yet, hold on. So they didn't say I couldn't show you the box, but I can't show you I can't take it out of the box and show it to you. So as of this morning, I realized that my plan for today's show was not going to work. So I then transitioned, and I was going to do a show live on the iPad, and once I started doing that, I realized that was going to take a lot more engineering, and I only had an hour and a half. So I then went to plan C, which is technically a plan D, and if you know what reference that movie's from, that would be great. And I went to do this. So let me just try typing this in again and see if it works. bit.ly.com, yes, /4F 63 QV capital R. Go. And that's not working. That's why nobody's coming into the room. All right, so if you give me a moment, I'm going to play that video again for people who have just joined. I know, but it's something. And I will get the actual QR code so that we can continue this, because now that the QR code that is not a preview is working. So give me a sec. I'll be right back. Hey, I wanted to thank you all for being here for original, genuine streaming information, testing, and reviews. My name is Anthony Barocas of StreamTech. Please subscribe to the channel so we can grow this audience for producing real content for you. Real-world experiences and feedback where I tell you what doesn't work, too. No AI is going to actually test and use these tools to find out what doesn't work. So the only way to combat all the crap AI-generated videos that regurgitate the same press release information is to subscribe and share real, genuine, experienced streaming content like this. The main location for our live streaming content is StreamTechnology with a K on YouTube. Here, you'll find all of our live shows, our conversations, and all of our fantastic tutorials and tech videos for you to watch anytime you want. I also have a StreamTechnology Facebook page you can subscribe to as well for more information, and so you can discuss the shows and videos with other fans. If you're looking for specific assistance with a setup or integration, or for consulting, you can go to stream4.us. That's Stream for Us, and you can reach out to me directly right there. I provide live streaming services and consulting to anyone who needs it. I also write for Streaming Media Magazine, which you can find at streamingmedia.com. There you can click on Producer and see a wealth of content for streaming producers like you and me. They also have a free weekly email newsletter that brings useful information right to your email inbox. But right now, the best thing you can do to help me out is to subscribe. Come on, and take a video that you like, that you find helpful, and share it on your social media so it might be seen by people who aren't connected to me. That would help me out so much. And you can actually do that while watching this video. Try it. Hey, I wanted to thank you all for being here for original, genuine streaming information, testing, and reviews. My name is Anthony Barocas of StreamTech. Please subscribe to the channel so we can grow this audience for producing real content for you. Real-world experiences and feedback where I tell you what doesn't work, too. No AI is going to actually test and use these tools to find out what... Oh my goodness. Okay, where am I? Okay. It's all over now. I had to change cameras. Oh, and now I'm hearing myself. I had to change cameras. Turn this minus on, and so that I could use the USB. And here's the QR code. When I put the QR code on the USB stick, the YoloBox would not look at the USB stick because I already have media in there, so it knows to use the SD card. So it's using the SD card and won't look at the other piece of media that has the new QR code. So go figure. And I can hear other people coming in. Let me go to split view, and I have to add Ray, who just came in. Boop, 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 boop. Reselect screen. Me, Ray. Done. Done. And here we go. Good to see you, Ray. How you doing there? It's not clearing up though. Can you hear me, Ray? Can you hear me, Ray? I want that video and Ray. Why is Ray turning off? This. Now can you hear me, Ray?
Yep.
There we go. Hey, Ray. Good to see you. Well, a little blurry, but good to see you there. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
So, are you a YoloBox user?
No, I use vMix.
Okay, yeah. vMix is a fantastic tool. I use it myself, and I do find a lot of things can be easier on vMix.
Watched your live stream before.
Well, cool. I'm glad to have you. Oh, and it's not including me. Boo, boo, boo. Well, it's very cool. It's glad to have you. It's interesting that the old, I'm just going to delete that old split view and create a new one because it's not letting me manage the audio with audio follows video with the old split view. We've got Varghese in India, Mark and Don. I appreciate you all jumping in there. Now that I kind of got the QR code working, I'm going to hold this up here again for a couple seconds. Yeah, we're going to do this the brute force way, aren't we? And what that does is that allows people to snap it with their phone. If Bitly didn't show you a QR code, but not activate it and make it a preview until you hit another little button in the corner, all of this would have been avoided. So thank you to Bitly for making that a pain in the butt. I am also going to fix this green. Let me go get a background. Done, done, done. So there we go. Fix that, and let me let you go, Ray, and I'm going to create a new split view with this and Varghese. Done, and done, and done. Now, Varghese, how you doing? Are you, oh, no, just lost them, of course. Or no, I hear audio. I hear Varghese, no, I don't hear Varghese, okay. We're going to create another split view with me and how about Mark? Done? No, not that me. See, this is the challenge with trying to do the live show on the Alan. Okay, let's do Alan. Here, split view, me, Alan, and Albuquerque. Done. There we go. It would really help if there was a live producer doing this for me. All right. Can you hear me there? I don't hear you, though. Can you hear me, Alan? Let me go to you directly. Nope, I lost your audio.
Let me adjust my
There you go. I got it.
speaker here.
Well, thank you, Alan. And for those who don't know, Tip joined from a different device than this viewing the stream on. Yeah, that's a good idea, Mark. Hot mic. Yes, there's a lot of hot mics. I'm going to go to my overview for the viewing audience here. And what it does is at the bottom, whoops, go back. At the bottom here, it actually says Alan Winston, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So the key is when someone is signing in and they put their name, that name actually gets carried through to the bottom here. And Mark just popped in here again. And Mark, I hear it, interestingly, but I don't know if that's also carrying through to the program. We will find out when I watch this after the fact. But okay, Alan, I lost your picture. There you go. Alan, are you a YoloBox user?
I am. I have a YoloBox Pro. We use that here at the Air Force Base in Albuquerque.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear you use it in the Air Force Base. I think you've gone quiet again on your end. You got a nice studio, it looks like, that's for sure. And I've gone quiet. I don't hear anything from me either. Can you hear me? Give me a nod, yes or no. Program is on. I just heard your audio for a second. Why am I off? Oh, because I'm not on screen.
Yeah, the audio is cutting in and out there.
There we go. Now, HDMI 4. I am on. On. There we go.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, it's tricky to manage when you're doing everything. If you have a separate producer doing this, this would be a whole lot easier because then they would say, Alan is next. But if you're trying, see that's really the trick here is that I can't bring the next person on until I build a new multi-view, including me and that person. And that requires me looking down at the screen and building it. So it's like if I want to bring Mark on or Mark and Alan, I have to come down here and say add, let's do 3 views. And then I do me, Mark, and Alan. And then I say done. And then I change the border thickness. Actually, can I change the scale a little bit? There you go. Change the scale a little bit. Put a background on there. Say done. And then I can click that. And that should have the audio from me, Alan, and Mark. But it doesn't. So I don't know what is going on here. I'll turn Mark's audio on directly and see if that works. Hey, Mark, can you hear? Can you hear us? Okay, Mark, can you hear us? Yes? No? Okay, he can't hear it. He can see himself, but he can't hear us. So this is what we wanted to find out. Can we use this reliably for a call-in show? And it looks like it's still a bit of a challenge in that the audio follows video.
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, you can. Okay, well, that was... Are you?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you both.
Are you watching?
cool.
Oh, he's probably watching the stream, which is 20 seconds behind. You need to be talking and looking at the device that's connected to the call, not the device that we're streaming to. All right, that would be Alan. So you should still be able to hear me, right, Alan?
Yes, sir. I sure can.
So you use which YoloBox?
We have the YoloBox Pro, and we've actually had it for about a year and a half, and we've used it for multiple live streams for changing commands.
Yes, I'm watching on my PC, stream on my PC, and then doing the call on my phone.
That's that 20-second delay for it to go to the internet and come all the way back down again. Well, it looks like you've got a very nice setup there. How does the YoloBox do something for you that other tools did not?
So we actually use it for over using our Microsoft Teams because the YoloBox streams directly to YouTube, and we can send out unlisted links on YouTube.
That is very weird. Okay. I lost my input. Well, I thank you for being in here, and it's definitely a challenge. I'm going to say I'm going to not take any more calls. I appreciate you all trying to call in and everything, but I think this is a great demonstration of, let me take that one out. This is a great demonstration of the fact that, one, doing a call-in show by yourself is insanely complicated. Two, managing the audio is more than half the battle. Like the whole Bitly thing, that's on Bitly for giving me a preview and not activating the QR code that they showed me on the screen until I hit another button that I didn't know I needed to hit. That's just frustration. But on the YoloBox, I'm finding that even when I have audio follows video on and I bring someone up, it could be lit up, like on, but I don't hear them. So when I select them, or if I turn this on manually, then it turns off audio follows video, and then I don't have it. So it's this back and forth, like what is going on here? And I think what audio follows video is doing is it's just toggling. If it's on, it turns it off. If it's off, it turns it on. So when you activate it, if you manually turned it on and then you turn on audio follows video, it's going to turn it off again. And that's just very problematic. Now, maybe if you get into a nice stable sync going all the way through and everything is working great, you can have those things toggle nicely and properly. But it does not seem that the audio follows video is actually looking at what's on the screen. It's just toggling. So if I manually toggle Mark on and then switch, it's going to toggle him off, which doesn't make any sense. Just look at the status of what's on the screen as opposed to just flipping the switch. It's like having your eyes closed. You don't know whether the light is on or off, and then you just flip the switch, flip the switch, flip the switch, flip the switch. But what I'm saying is look at the light. If it's on the screen, it should be on. If I do it manually, it should be on. And then if I turn on audio follows video and it's still on the screen, leave it on. Don't turn it off. Because it seems like it's just getting, the flip is getting reversed so that when I switch to someone, then their audio is off. I turn it on manually, which turns off audio follows video, and it becomes this big compounding nightmare. So now that I have it off, I turn it on, and then if I wanted to have somebody else's video there, I would say, oh, let me turn this on. It turns it off. If I turn this back on, now it's off. I'm like, stop, just stop. So this was a great show in terms of learning about the audio follows video, how it's executed in the YoloBox Ultra, learning about how it's toggling without actually seeing what's active, and how manually making an adjustment turns off audio follows video, which I would think shouldn't turn it off. I'm just making an adjustment. I'm not saying I don't want that on. I'm saying the current status is wrong. So if I turn this on, don't turn that off. Just leave it on so that now when I cut away, they go together, as opposed to going like this, then going like this, then going like this. You can never get back in sync once you're out of sync. And that is a challenge, especially when audio is something, because it's invisible, it is very, very hard to determine where the problem is. you know. And the fact, even like doing today's show, in order for my remote guests to hear me, I needed to have my camera audio come into the Ultra. But then when I'm doing the show directly, my audio is going, but the audio, because it's mix minus, my audio that's going into the Ultra is not carried over to the rest of the chain. You'd have to like, okay, so then I have to add my audio manually to the rest. And yes, there would be an echo. I think someone else said that there was a little bit of an echo coming in. Right here, Noel said, there's another sound in your live, and that would be the fact that it's turning off my mix minus on my here, and the audio I have coming into the Director Mini and this one are both going, and they're not going to be in time. So in order to work around what's happening here, I had to do something else further down the line. The key element that caused that problem here is when you send your video out, because mix minus is active on the program, the HDMI out doesn't have my audio. It's not just minusing it from my headphone monitor, it's also subtracting it from the program out on HDMI. Something to be aware of if you wanted to use an external recorder or an external streamer and you wanted to produce the show here, your mix minus audio is missing from the video output here. And technically, I don't think that should be the case. I think the only place it should be missing is your headphone, not on the program, not on the stream. Now, we know that the stream carried the audio. People watching the stream could hear both of us when that was working. But I'm not able to utilize it here, which is why I had to do the audio workaround to downstream. And, you know, so my thoughts would be a couple recommendations for YOLO. First, audio follows video has to be not a toggle, but a status. So if a video is in program, the audio should be on. If somebody manually hits the audio, and if for whatever reason it turned off, for, you know, like they want to mute it and then turn it back on, if they do something manual, don't turn off audio follows video. Leave it on, because that's a status. That's like, should be a hard switch. Turned it on, turned it off. Then the whole program should be going to the stream and program and the recorder per se. The stream, the recording, and the HDMI out should carry all of the program, not just the stream and the recording, and the program out is missing the mix minus. It shouldn't be like that. I can understand if you were sending that into a room, I could understand how you would want that. I mean, that's a catch-22, don't you think? In terms of if I was sending the program out from this into a conference room and we wanted to have a remote guest, well, then you actually don't want to have the room audio come back into the room speakers. You only want any video playback, or you want the remote guest coming into the room. The program audio is muted from that. Maybe that needs to be an additional toggle. So it's one of those things where audio can get very loopy very quickly, and it's really hard to figure out exactly where the audio is going. And a lot of different people want to do a lot of different things with the audio. If I was just recording it in an external recorder or streaming it using a live view, then I would want my own mic to be mix minus in my ear on the headphones, but in program. If you were doing it in a conference room, you would not want the microphone in the room to be going back into the room. So I can see that going both ways. Again, that could be a toggle here in the audio settings, or that could be over here in the audio settings as well. Video out settings, you go to video out, and then it could be include program, include mix minus, don't include mix minus. Could be like that. But this was a great learning experience for me in terms of testing out the mix minus and the remote guest capabilities in the Ultra. They work. The mix minus works. The remote guest capability works. Once you get past the bit.ly doing a little screwy thing, that works. And it can enable a dedicated producer to run a show with remote guests, because there's not a preset that would allow someone here to easily toggle between remote guests in a preset side-by-side window multi-view and have that pre-built. The way it is now, a solopreneur needs to look down at the computer, create a new multi-view from scratch for each new guest after they connect in the show. If they connect before the show, it's super easy. You can do this, build it, have it set up. Hey, thanks. Let's test the mics and everything. Okay, this is great. And then you can do the show if you're just doing one. If you're trying to do a call-in show like I've got, and you're going to bounce between multiple people during the show, this is not going to work. I did one in December using the YoloBox Pro before we even had Mix Minus. But the way I did that was I managed the remote caller on a laptop. And so I was talking to them directly on the laptop. They got this main camera fed into there, but my audio went into the laptop, and the output of the laptop with a pre-built side-by-side came into the YoloBox pre-made. So it was easy for me to go to the multi-view because I would just go to the laptop feed. And the laptop was pre-building that over there. So if I wanted to do 3, I go 1, 2, 3. Here we're all talking. That audio and that video comes into my YoloBox automatically. And then when I don't want it, it all goes away. So by separating the two tasks, I was able to manage the call-in separately from managing the program. In the YoloBox Ultra, trying to do it all in one device really, I think, needs a dedicated person. It takes a lot of thinking, a lot of tapping, a lot of focusing on what you're doing to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do, and then making sure that you don't mistap something and get the audio follows video to be working in reverse of how you want it to work. A couple comments came in. This could be an opportunity for the YOLO people to build a separate outboard touchscreen audio mixer. That would be great. And I think Frank may have mentioned in one of his shows that he was looking at the output of the Ultra, the HDMI out, could be multi-views or possibly just audio mixer, but touchscreen. I think what you said with regards to the touchscreen, that could be something very, very key. But also updating the way audio follows video to work so it's not just a toggle. And if somebody makes a change, don't change the audio follows video unless somebody physically hits that button. Don't think for me. Just, I turned it on, leave it on. Bravo, this is a great learning experience for me too. I will test this out here with some of our geography separated partners. Yes. Test. And actually, this live show, I did not test this out before the live show because I can't get remote callers. I needed to wait for the live show to have people like you to be able to be willing to call in and endure me working through this live. So thank you all for your patience, understanding, and working with me as I do this. Mark says, 3 times I tried to call with YoloBox. It was a train wreck, mostly because I couldn't juggle the audio with the stream audio. It is a challenge. If you're doing it yourself, it's more of a challenge. If you have a producer who can sit there and just head down, okay, let me do this, and then, they cue you in, or you've got like a little in-ear monitor, Mark is next. Okay, Mark, hey, thanks, Mark, thanks for being here. And then you hear Mark. That could work really well. But it really, even with vMix, I've done remote calls with vMix and having in-ear with the on-camera talent, but I'm the remote producer. I'm setting that up. I'm doing all that on the side of the stage, and they see the program, and when the program changes and there's a person standing next to them, then they can hear them because they're in program. That works because they're not also trying to do the technical aspect. Don Cato says, let's definitely explore further, especially the hard delay. Any workaround for that? There's actually not a hard delay for those who are in the call. It's maybe a slightly more latency than Zoom, but the challenge I had, I think it was with Mark, was that Mark was watching the broadcast but hooked up on a phone. He was watching the broadcast on his laptop, but hooked up on a phone. And if you're watching the broadcast, it takes 20 seconds for the broadcast to go to Facebook, Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, and all that stuff. And then YouTube takes that signal in. It makes 5 different versions of it from HD, 720p, 520, 380. It makes all these different versions and then broadcasts it, and then it comes back down. That's the round trip. You're not supposed to be watching the broadcast. The broadcast is for the audience. Participants need to be on the call. They need to be on the phone, on their mobile device. If they're using their mobile device, they need to be looking at this, listening to this as well. Not looking at this, but listening to the broadcast. Because the broadcast for everyone else is about 20 seconds behind. That's where the delay comes in. So when people connect, and that's on me, actually. I forgot to say, if you're going to connect, have a mobile device, be listening to the mobile device. Don't pay attention to the broadcast if you're part of the call-in show. And it's like if you've ever called into a radio show, they say, turn your radio down. Because you're going to be ahead of what the rest of the world is going to be participating in. Turn your radio down. Mark also chimes in, mix minus should apply to monitor only or have an option to control it. Yes, both. It should definitely apply to the monitor. Mix minus should definitely apply to the monitor. And I can definitely see it going both ways in terms of the video output. As I says, if I'm using this as part of a conference and my remote guest is going to be appearing on stage and we want 20 people in the room to hear it, and the people on stage in the room to be able to talk to the remote guest. Even with vMix, that's a whole lot of juggling. So I don't want the audio from the people on stage that's going into the program to go back out with the video that everyone is seeing. But I do want it to go to the remote guest, and I do want it to go to the stream. So I can see it I can see instances, even in my own client list. Oh, this client for this event, I want it off. I don't want it in program. For what I was doing here today, I want it on because I'm not broadcasting it for anyone in the room. I want the program audio, me in the program audio, to be on the output that I'm sending to the stream via my HDMI out, because I'm not actually streaming from the Ultra. That's the other caveat, is that in order to show you things like this, I'm not streaming from the Ultra, I'm streaming from another device downstream of this. That creates another layer of complexity. Like I said, I've got this device, I've got the Ultra, I've got the ATEM. The mic you're hearing me on is actually going through the ATEM, and the Ultra is going through the ATEM and then being fed into the Director Mini, which is then being fed into StreamYard. If only you could see what I've seen with your eyes. That's a second movie quote that nobody said. Can you go live with the Ultra to the Shorts feed? I haven't been able to figure that out. Shorts on YouTube? Shorts on YouTube are videos that you upload, and they have to be less than 60 seconds. So it's not a live thing. I learned that the hard way. Sorry, let me go back over here. Shorts on YouTube have to be less than 60 seconds. It's not a live thing. Now the Ultra can also do Instagram and TikTok. So I haven't done that with my Ultra. And actually, I just created a new StreamTech channel on Instagram that has, I think, no followers. And when I tried to stream to it with the in-stream vertically while doing a live show, it was like, you're not established enough, you can't stream. I give up. It's like there's so many hurdles to get content on the air. It's a challenge. It is a real challenge to be able to hit multiple platforms in multiple orientations at the same time, especially when I don't have a separate dedicated producer managing all this. I'm the engineer and I'm the person in front of the camera. So it takes a lot of setting up before the show, at least an hour or two every day before I do the show, setting up. And in addition to being here in front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 monitors. League Pass Football. Yes, it's a live thing. You can go live to the Shorts feed. Oh, it is a live thing. I didn't know you could do that. I have not seen the ability to do that. Live stream setups that aren't chaos are not real. Generally, if I'm not trying to do something as complex as this, there's not an issue. But this one has been a challenge. Nothing crashed. So there you go. You have to stream vertically on YouTube. It'll go to the Shorts feed. But if you stream vertically on YouTube, you have to be streaming to it from a device that hits the proper flag, which is probably a mobile device. And I don't think I'm going through the YoloBox Ultra right now, so I can't check it. But I don't think I'll turn on my in-stream. What is that all about? I turn on the in-stream and all of a sudden, go away, stop doing that. I don't think the in-stream has YouTube as an output, does it? You throw that in the comments. You're 20 seconds behind. Don Cato says, I think he's referring to the 9x16 that needs to be selected prior to streaming. Yes, and I don't think there's a way to select that in... Here, let me just take these out. So I don't know why it keeps doing it. Okay, so here we go, overhead. Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit so it's not so bright. There's no YouTube on the in-stream for output here. So you can go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and things like that. So this is what I was using to try to go to Instagram. But when I tried to stream to Instagram, it was like, nope. But there's no YouTube on the in-stream to make that a reality very quickly. The difference is when you go live on the Shorts feed, it brings in random viewers just like TikTok. Yes, I know. There was actually a local producer to me in Dallas who brought me in because they wanted to bring in guests from TikTok and Instagram directly and be able to hear them, but not hear themselves. So they needed the mix minus. So when the mix minus was added to the Ultra and you're able to use it in the vertical orientation, then all of a sudden it worked like they needed it to work, because they're not using the Ultra to do the remote guests. They're drawing them in from the platform that they're touching. And that is a huge difference. So that it's easy. Listen, I'm not going to be changing the settings on my Ultra. I'm just going to have me, my camera, my headphones, turn on mix minus. I don't hear myself. Now I do everything else in Instagram and TikTok. And that makes it a whole lot easier. When you're watching a short, pause it. Then on top of the option, view live feeds will show up. Try it out. I will give that a shot. Thank you very much. All right, and that, I believe, takes care of everything for today. We've gone for an hour and 20 minutes. I do thank you all for being here as part of today's show. I do thank you for persevering with me as I created all of this extra content on here. Apparently, when people disconnect the initial connection from Ray, Varghese, Mark, Don, Alan, Mark, Varghese again, they stick around. And it used to be, or at least on the Pro when I've used it for remote guests, that would go away. You know, after a couple of seconds, right, that'd just close up and go away. So maybe it's because I've got them hooked into a multi-view. I don't know. If I close the multi-view, delete that, done, they don't go away. If I close this one, close that, done. Nope, all of these remote calls are still stuck in here. And when I had the first call, I just went over here and closed that manually. So that would be an instance of me saying, don't do things for me, let me do it. And okay, you know, I'm actually okay with cleaning up my own stuff, you know, as long as the device does not get overwhelmed with clutter in the middle of a show and says, oh, you've got too many inputs, I can't let another caller in. So that is what we've got going on here. And image one, I don't know why image one would have died there, but I am going to add my images again. There's the call-in show, done. And like I said, I'm actually, well, that's interesting. There it is. Oh, I can't do a key over that. Maybe I can. Chroma key, turn off the background, done. And then do a picture-in-picture. Where's my pip? This. I like doing that better than on the Pro. No, other way. And big. There we go. Done. That's an input. So, thank you all for being here. Now it looks a little stuttery, which is something that I don't get with the Magewell Director. But we're going to complete the show on the Ultra because we started here and damn it, we're going to finish here too. So thank you all for watching. As always, if you are watching on any of the other channels, go to StreamTech on YouTube. You'll see a ton of stuff, especially the 7 tips for mobile multicam, where we were talking about the big monster routers. And as I says, tomorrow I have a video hitting on the YOLO deck. Good video. I've gone through it multiple times. It really does cover pretty much soup to nuts, everything you want to know about the YOLO deck, except where to buy it and how much it cost. Because when I made the video, it was still in beta. But programming, deleting, rearranging, what you can do with it, and then as they add more features and more things that you can, control in the boxes, then those features are going to be available to go into the YOLO deck. So thank you again all for being here, and I'm going to take advantage of the audio attached to the timer and say, see you next time. I am going to post a picture of this to the YouTube. Basically, it's like Facebook. YouTube posts on the StreamTech channel. So if you're curious what this mess looked like today, go to YouTube, go to posts on the StreamTech. I'll post that. Actually, I'll post that right now.